I will be going over what is known as the second Surah Al-Baqarah. Surah, correctly translated in English, is authoritative document and not chapter. And Al-Baqarah, currently translated by all scholars as the cow or the heifer. Who or what is this specific cow or this specific heifer? Surely it should be mentioned within this authoritative document or anywhere in this book. However, it is not. In fact, a heifer is mentioned within the authoritative document part 2 Al-Baqarah, but in a negative way. Al-Baqarah is not the cow or the heifer. Al means the. Baqarah should be separated into its three syllables. BaKaRa. The ancient language of the so-called pharaohs. I refer to them as the pyramid building people in what is currently known as Egypt. Ba is symbolized by the upside down triangle, which symbolizes death or destruction. Ka symbolizes the right-sided up pyramid, which symbolizes the living spirit. Ra, as in Amen Ra, is symbolized by the sun and comes in many different names throughout the ages. Ba, Ka equals Ra, or Ka, Ba equals Ra. Putting the two triangles together, the upside down triangle and the right sided up triangle, we come to the six-pointed star, commonly mistaken as the Star of David. What does this six-pointed star represent? More work needs to be done. But I do know with certainty the property of all elements depends on its geometric structure. It has absolutely nothing to do with atomic values. Maybe the six-pointed star represents a frequency of some sort, and the Ka-Ba or the Ba-Ka represents the cubed entrapment of humanity, like a prison. However, as we know, a lot of what we have been taught has been inverted. It has also been said that the only geometry of perfect proportionality is the triangle with 36 degrees plus 36 degrees plus 108 degrees. Combined together, they create a five-pointed star. But again, more work needs to be done. I will be reading from the beginning of the authoritative document Al-Baqarah to part 29, often translated as the verse 29, proof 29, sign 29. However, I have interpreted Ayat as manifestation. But for simplicity, I will be calling it sections. So, I will be translating authoritative document Al-Baqarah from section 1 to section 29. And then once I have finished that translation, I will then go through my reasons. Section 1, Alif, Lam, Mim. Section 2, Take it, the book of which there is no falsehood, a guidance for those who are in preparation. Section 3, It is they who know the truth of what is coming and stand up for their rights and preserve the very system we have raised for which they have benefited from. In other words, they give back. Section 4, And for those who have sought the truth of what was humbly bestowed to you and what was humbly bestowed before you, and to my end await patiently. Section 5, These are they who are guided by their sustainer and provider, and this is they who encourage and bring humanity together. Section 6, As for those who cover or hide from the truth, it is the same to them whether you have warned them or if you try to warn them, they do not seek the truth. Section 7, God has decreed upon their perception of the world and their hearing and upon what they see a screen, and upon them is terrible misfortune. Section 8, And from amongst humanity are those who subscribe to a religion that say we trust in the universal laws and in my final day. However, they have not sought the truth. Section 9, They deceive God and those who have sought the truth, but they do not deceive any but themselves, yet they do not perceive it. Section 10. In their world perception is a sickness, and thus God increases their sickness, and they have a terrible misfortune for that for which they were dishonest. Section 11. And if it is urged to those that subscribe to religion to not fuel division on earth, they respond, we are those that encourage and bring humanity together. Section 12. Call it out for what it is. By their very nature of being a part of a religion, it is they who divide humanity, yet they do not perceive it. Section 13. And if it is urged to them that subscribe to religion to seek the truth, as those people who have sought the truth, they will respond, seek the truth like the foolish. Call it out for what it is. It is they who subscribe to religion who are the foolish, but they have not learnt. Section 14. And if they have gained from those who have the truth, they respond, we trust in it. But when they socialize with their religious leaders, they respond, we are with you, we were only mocking. Section 15. God mocks them and hands them towards the outcome of that for which they have worked towards. Section 16. These who subscribe to a religion are they who have purchased the darkness in place of guidance, and their transaction does not benefit them, and they were not guided. Section 17. Their example is like an individual who stocks a fire, and then when it lights what is encircled around them, God takes away their vision and rejects them into my darkness. They do not see. Section 18. Deaf, dumb, blind, they cannot be persuaded. Section 19. Or like a storm from the sky. Within it is darkness, thunder, and lightning. They place their fingers in their ear from lightning, concerned of death. And God is aware of those that cover or hide from the truth. Section 20. It is as if the lightning attracts their vision. Every time the light is presented to them, the light representing the truth, they walk towards it. Or if the light, in this case, the knowledge or truth, is against them, they walk away. But if God willed to take away what they hear or what they see, it is because above everything God is deterministic. Section 21. O humanity, serve your sustainer and provider who created you and those before you, because he will teach you to be prepared. Section 22. Who has ordained the earth a place to unwind, and the sky a structure, and brought down from the sky water, from which opportunities and benefit sprout from it for you. So do not invite against God an impostor, and you know. Section 23. And if you doubt what we have humbly bestowed upon our servant, then bring an authoritative document the like of this, and bring your witnesses without God's presence, if you are honourable. In other words, the hadiths. Section 24. You will not be able to, or try to. Thus be prudent of the fire against the people and the argumentative, awaiting those who cover or hide from the truth. Section 25. And give glad tidings to those who have sought the truth, and bring people together. For them is heaven on earth. From under its system they have opportunities. Every time they benefit from this system, which gave them the opportunity, they say, this is what we planned for, and they achieve likeness to their aims and objectives. And from this system, they are amongst like-minded people, and it is from it that they live life. Section 26. It is because God is not ashamed to present an example of jealousy of that above. As for those who sought the truth, they respond that this is a right from their sustainer and provider. As for those who cover or hide from the truth, they respond, what does God mean by this example? Thus from it detracts many, and from it guides many. and it only retracts those who have rejected. Section 27. Those who have subscribed to religion, breaking the covenant with God after the agreement, and they cut out that for which God has shown to them to follow, and they cause division across the land, it is they that have lost. Section 28. How can you cover or hide from the universal law when you was once dead and gave you life? Then will we give you death, then life, and then to me you return. Section 29. It is he who created all that is on earth altogether, then made the sky into 7 established skies, and it is he who above everything is knowing. Now I will go over some of the verses or sections or manifestations or proof or signs in this authoritative document BaKaRa. One of the gravest sticking points for those who follow this so-called religion called Islam, they say that this book was sent down from God through an angel to the Prophet Muhammad. So this book is divine. Let's go to verse number 4, or manifestation number 4, proof or sign number 4. It says in Arabic, الذين يؤمنون بما أنزل عليك وما أنزل من قبلك. In other words, it says, what was sent down to you, in referring to Muhammad, or what was sent down to those before. The same word is being used, al-nazal. However, when referring to this book, the so-called Muslims or Islamic religion interpret this word anzul to mean it was sent down from the heavens above. If we are going to be consistent, it also says anzal min qabl, what was sent down before you. So therefore the Bible and the Torah and several other books must have also been sent down by the heavens, by God himself, through angels. But of course, many Muslims, so-called Muslims, will object to this statement. However, it's in black and white in verse 4. The same word is being used, anzal, and it is wrongly translated as sent down. What was sent down to you, the Prophet, and what was sent down before. In other words, it's referring to the Bible and the Torah. That will come to a shock to many so-called Muslims, that this book could have been written by man himself. Also within this verse 4 or section 4, the word ya'munu is wrongly interpreted as believe or believed. There is not such thing as belief in this book. Yameen is trust. The correct interpretation of that is someone who seeks the truth, not someone who believes. That in itself changes the whole perception of the reader. Section 6 or verse 6, we come across the word kafir, grossly misinterpreted as an infidel. A kafir comes from the word kufr, and kufr is when you place a covering over something. A kafir is somebody that hides, conceals, or does not seek the truth. So a kafir can be anybody that hides or conceals the truth, or does not seek the truth. So that will account for the majority of humanity, regardless of your religion. Section 7 of verse 7, we come across the word qulubukum. This word is wrongly interpreted it's wrongly interpreted as the heart. But the esoteric meaning of this word is not the heart at all. Qalb is when something is turned over, qalb. Qalb, the esoteric meaning of qulubuhum, is the word perspective, their perception of reality. Logically, it flows that qulubuhum can only mean their word perception or reality, how they see reality. Because the words that follow are the hearing and sight. When you place a covering over somebody's hearing and sight, you alter their world perception. Section 8 of verse 8, or verse 8, refers to a section of humanity who say that they believe in God. Then it goes on to say that they are not believers, but they do not perceive it. And by implication, the reverse must be true. So it can only be referring to those who follow a religion. And that is what I believe is the main point of section 1 to section 29, is to highlight the destructive nature of all man-made religions. Section 14 or verse 14, we come across the word shaitan. Now, again, so-called Muslims regard this word shaitan as the devil himself, or workers of the devil himself. Some extraterrestrial, three-dimensional being, and whispers in our ears. No, again, this is wrong. A shaitan is a human being. A shaitan is somebody who is against God's universal laws of equality, justice, and so forth for all humanity. They are the deceivers. And in this instance, in this verse, the shaitans here are represented by the religious leaders, be them imam, a priest, a rabbi, or a guru. In this book, they are referred to as shaitans. As in the case of malaki, they are human beings again, yes, and jinn are those that work for the shaitans. Jinn comes from the word hidden. Jinn are those who are members of secret societies, who work against equality for all humanity. Yes, a jinn is a Freemason, for example. Section 25 of verse 25, we come across the word azwag. In Arabic now, the word azwag means a spouse, husband, or wife. Again, this is incorrectly translated in the Quran. The esoteric meaning for azwag is likeness. So when somebody is zawwaged, it's not marry or bond in some sort of some relationship. No, it's somebody who has bonded with somebody else or similar minded. Section 27 or verse 27, we come across the word yusallu. Here it is translated not as pray by most scholars, but translated as to be joined. Any other instant is translated as pray. There is no praying in this book. Salah does not mean pray at all. Salah simply means to follow. And how is that related to each and every one of us? For example, if an individual is a teacher, his salah is to teach people the best he can, thoroughly and with dedication. If an individual is a police officer, his salah is to uphold the law and serve the people. If an individual is a lawyer or a solicitor, his salah is to protect equality and human rights, and so on. Anyway, I could go on and on. I look forward to your comments. I'll see you on my next video.